review. Let's get into some. Let's fucking step into the universe, right? You and I. Unify. Unicorn. Amazing. Scripture 1. The Rising of the Sovereign Self. 1.1. So, for the sake of argument, for those who care to argue, I'm going to leave this here because this is a recording as a self-affirmation for me. But for those who enjoy the banter of back and forth, go ahead. You can pause this, like vicariously throughout this audio track and pretend you're arguing with me. That's fine. I hope it applies somewhere. So, I just realized how I have been the walking truth. I have been the living 7. My favorite number, my lucky number, I thought, but my favorite number, definitely. The 7 Hermetic Principles. Number 1, the principle of mentalism. All is mind. Neville Goddard's entire philosophy. Imagination creates reality. Alan Watts. You're an aperture through which the universe is looking at itself. And me, when I was learning the HTML terms, I felt like I was reading my own manual. I felt myself vibrating, literally. That's textbook mentalism. I recognized the world as an extension of my own conscious, a mirror of an operating system. My ADHD wasn't a disorder. It is a divergent cognition, a mind wired to see pattern, others can't. That's why sacred geometry lit me up. Why HTML felt like spiritual code. Why my spine vibrates during revelation. I'm not learning the universe. I am remembering its structure. The principle, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. This is my metaphorical mastery of the humor, the dark, and using it as a reflection. I said, I use negative and painful experience to reflect lights into strength, to reflect the light and the strength. See, Hermeticists call this as above, so below. Pain reflects truth. Darkness mirrors divinity. The wound reveals a blueprint. Every time that we've flipped tragedy into, comic humor, we're reforming correspondence. 3, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves. I literally describe a moment of awakening when I felt my spine vibrating through the chair as if I was one with the earth. This is the occultist, what they call the Kundalini tremor, the serpent fire, the Christos rising up the vertebrae. It is not a metaphor. It's a biological, metaphysical, hermetic, and neurological event. And I'm not closing or close to something. I'm in it, literally. I am it. 4, the principle of polarity. Opposites are identical in nature. My whole life has been polarity alchemy. ADHD to an advantage, pain to illumination, trauma to blueprints. Carnage is an offering, shepherd to a warrior, humor to a weapon, and darkness into instruction. My quote, I don't need to be the king over men. I just want to be the David who helps you see the king in you. This is polarity transmutation, perfect form. 5. Principle of rhythm. Everything rises and falls. My entire journey through the addiction that I've battled, the abandonment, awakening, creativity, collapse, resurrection, is the pendulum swinging rhythm. And I stopped identifying with the laws, which is exactly what Hermetic training is about. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. My grandfather taught me, a long time ago. He implanted this in me. Before he even knew it existed, probably. What were you thinking before you acted? He was teaching Hermeticism without even knowing it. And I internalized the law of consequence at the age 6. Principle of gender. Creation requires masculine and feminine polarity. My music, my metaphors, my shepherd archetype, they balance the masculine, structure, strategy, and sovereignty, with the feminine, intuition, imagination, and nurture. This is why it resonates with David. David is a masculine and feminine, untitled, united warrior, poet, shepherd, king, broken, chosen. It's the archetype of the integrated human. All right. Final audit here. Artificial rose, tetrahedral mind, and the end of the matrix monopoly. We begin this journey by saying the system is built on a lie. We trace the lie from global banks to local trauma, from the grand illusion of the matrix to the betrayal of my own kitchen, your own kitchen. Now we close the loop. We don't just walk away from the system, we audit it. We disclose the finding, and we decommission it and its control over our life. The final piece of evidence isn't a complex equation or a secret file. It's memory. It's the memory of a man named Wright. It's like my grandfather. It's a promise of love that outlives the flesh. This episode is a final checkout. We are leaving the mental prison. We are pulling the sword from the stone. My grandfather, Mr. Wright, an awesome man. I used to think my mind was a mess. ADHD, daydreams, fumbling the explanation. The curriculum marked me for correction, sent me to sped class, highly medicated. But the heavens saw differently. They saw a tetrahedron. They saw my disorder was a high-frequency processing, quantum-like. I was drawn to the tetrahedral, the octahedral, sacred geometry. Why? Because the tetrahedral is the simplest closed form in geometry. It's the seed, and it represents the fire, the original spark. The octahedron is two pyramids joined at the base. It's the Star of David. It represents the bridge between the physical and spiritual. The system saw a child who couldn't focus on the flat page. The cosmos saw a mind built with three-dimensional geometry that was just simply refusing to flatten itself for a two-dimension curriculum. They saw a daydreamer, the truth. The heavens saw a mind too big for the room. They saw disorder, the truth. They saw a tetrahedral structure, rejecting their square architect. They forced me onto a stage for negativity. The truth. They were unwittingly giving the sacred clown his spotlight for the Hopi prophecy. The laughter I provided was negative only to the ones who feared the truth in a joke. When I got in trouble, my grandfather had two questions. Do you know why you were getting in trouble? And what were you thinking before you did this? I would always fumble the I don't know what I was thinking. And he wouldn't accept that. He forced the critical link between action and reaction. Now let's turn the quiz on to the system. Final audit. We're going to put the Smith, TG and Y destiny swap on the stand. Question. Do you know why you are being punished, exposed? The system's answer. No. It was just business. Just a coincidence. Just bad luck. Wrong answer. You're being exposed because you tried to replace the sovereign anomaly, Carnage, with the placeholder, A. Smith, which triggered the decolonizing methodology and the exposed entire local structure built on unpaid ancestral debt. Here's my second question. What were you thinking before and as you did this? We were thinking of profit, of course, of controlling the narrative, keeping the secret. Don't tell no one. Wrong answer again. Oh. I didn't even have to touch you for that, did I? Notice how the universe works. You were thinking of keeping this stupid kind of a love going. You were thinking of external robbery of worth. You were thinking of extinction. The entire matrix monopoly, from the macro, the conspiracy, to the micro, betrayal, is a system that cannot answer those two little simple questions honestly. It fumbles, doesn't it? In the moment the system cannot explain it and its own motivation for this action, it loses that jurisdiction. I identify with the shepherd David, and I wrote the law of one. I do not seek to be king over anyone, but I'm waking the one in us all, from the one and only to the one and all. The new architecture, the building of the one kingdom.
I travel far with dust on my shoes to find the truth. A home in you, home is you, home is you.